Welcome to Georgia Fragrances, guys. If anybody recognizes me from my other channel, which I no longer have, it was Legit Sense Collector. So basically, this channel is a fragrance channel based around different fragrances, releases for men, and whatnot. So, this will be my first video, of course. Not new to YouTube at all, but be sure to subscribe to this channel. I think you'll like some of the content on here that I upload. Anyway, we got a fragrance haul video. Now, this is a vintage fragrance haul, not particularly a modern fragrance haul. These are great for you collectors, hard time collectors out there that are diehard into this collecting out here, especially when it comes to vintage products out here. So, some of these vary by year. In this collection, well, haul, some are older than others, so we'll list those out. So most of these are fragrances, others are, one of them happens to be a shave soap. So this is a vintage one. It's a vintage Old Spice shave mug soap. This one happens to be from, I think, the mid 70s or sometime in the 70s, this particular one. We have the original red protector for it, and we had the original soap in it too. Now this I got this brand new, but I've used this one a couple times when it comes to shaving, and I absolutely enjoy it. I think it's a great nostalgic piece. You know, it is museum worthy. I think these are a little bit expensive on eBay, but you might be able to find these popping up on there for a pretty decent price. This one I paid for about around $40. I got a few dollars off on that purchase. Typically, they go around $50 or more on eBay. So I think it's a good one. So on to our fragrances. First one we have, sorry about that. First one we have is, these are all gift sets, by the way. First one is another Schultz and Old Spice gift set. This one happens to be from 1955, I believe, if I'm correct. Here on the back, you can see the printing on the back. Sorry if it's upside down. I can read it off to you if you need me to. It says Old Spice, number 381, Schultz and Incorporated, Clifton, New Jersey, Toronto, printed in the USA. All these fragrances in here are perfectly good. These have not gone rancid. Very surprising, especially this one. When I got this one in the mail, these are all New World stock, so they've never been used, which I was impressed with, and I got a really good deal on this one. This one can go for $50, $60, if not more, on eBay, and I only paid about $30, so can't complain with that. So here's the presentation on this one. We'll take the box off, let you see on the inside. So here we have, right here, these are 2 bottles. These are completely full. Here's the first bottle of Old Spice on the side. And how I know this is from the 50s, they had the older font. Back in the 40s and before, you had a different font on the Old Spice logo. Now, in the mid 50s, excuse me, by 1950s, the early and mid 50s, they had this original logo. Excuse me. Early 50s, they still kept the original logo, original fonting and everything from the 40s before. By the time the mid 50s came around, then they just changed the sides with the fonting for the Old Spice, and they just kept the 1940s and before Grand Turk ship design here on the back, and then here. In the late 50s, then they changed. They kept the same Old Spice logo, but then they changed the ship Grand Turk. It was smaller, and you'll see what it looks like in some of these other bottles in this collection that you'll see that are the smaller ship design. So, and that's how I know this one's mid 50s because of that, and I think it's a very cool collector's item. I never will use this particular set because it's rare to find this one. Still completely full, still has its original scent to it. It's absolutely a classic scent. It's good. It's an old school barbershop scent, basically. These are all old school barbershop scents. I've noticed Old Spice is kind of like a cross between a bay rum and like a barbershop scent, so it's like in between in the middle right there, and that's always nice. So then we have the talcum powder here. I don't use this one either. Nothing special. It's just the shave talc, post shave talc. Then they have their body talcs too, but this one's different from the body talc. So there's that one. Next one we have. This one is Old Spice. This is an Old Spice gift set to Shelton, 1980s collection. For some reason, when I got this bottle, you'll notice here that this is an 80s bottle. If you know anything about Old Spice, and you look at this one, clearly tell this is not an 80s bottle. Now this one I dated on. Also, was I managed to date this bottle. This one is anywhere between the mid 60s to early 70s. Excuse me, late 60s to early 70s. Still, it's a smaller bottle, and this one I actually use. I've used it a couple times. Still has its original scent. It's very strong still too. But it's a good one. It is a good one. These all smell the same, of course. Shelton never changed their formulations until I think it was the mid '90s. They were bought out by Procter and Gamble, and fragrances went downhill from there. Everybody knows the OG Shelton companies. Old Spice is the best. So yeah, there's that bottle. This one comes on with a soap and a rope. Soap on a rope, which is just a body soap. It's a body bar, nothing special. It's an Old Spice bar. So those are always cool. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this body soap, but I know some collectors out there absolutely love it. I've used that one a couple times. Nothing special about that scent. It's just a basic soap scent, I think, personally. But when it comes to the aftershaves and whatnot and colognes, they are the best. And finally, for our last gift set and Old Spice haul, we got here is another 1980s gift set. Now there's a sticker on this one on here on the top. I noticed I don't know what store was selling this, but they wanted $5.29 back in the day. Now this is inflated incredibly high. Not incredibly high, but much higher than what it was before. This is the Captain's Nautical Collection. This one was the Captain Sailor Collection. And then on the back, you have the ingredients and all that. If you want to read it, you can. These are really cool to find on eBay. So if anyone was wondering where I do get these are from eBay. So check them out. You find some cool stuff here. So then here in the gift set, we have a larger bottle of the Old Spice. This one's, of course, 1980s. The aftershave here. So, like I mentioned earlier with the 1950s Old Spice, you can tell it's different from the other ones with the ship and everything. Not quite as big, and it didn't have the name of the ship on here like it did in the 50s. So we have this bottle. Once again, I'll open it. This one's also unused too. New old stock. Scent is fantastic. Still there. Which, this is very cool. And the scents have not spoiled at all. They've not gotten rancid at all. They're basically stuck in time, the scents, in a way. And then we have a deodorant stick, which this one also surprised me too. This was not dried out. This is just another 1980s Old Spice deodorant stick. It's a push stick, so you push up and it moves up. You push it back down. Good scent. Still not dried out, which is incredible. So that pretty much concludes the Old Spice haul video, but I got two more things for you. These aren't fragrance related. These are shaving gear related, wet shave gear that are vintage products too, which you may enjoy. First one, we have a 1956 Blue Tip, second quarter of the year, date code. I got some soap scum on this from using it. Sorry about that. Date code B2. Yeah. I gotta clean that razor off. It's a little bit dirty. But yeah, date code B2, second quarter of the year. Gillette, blue tip. There's a little bit of wear on the blue tip area down here. It's a twist to open style razor, of course. Opens beautifully. I do need to clean this razor, man. I've used this a lot, just never end up cleaning it. You know, it opens and closes perfectly smooth still. Beautiful razor, smooth razor, very mild razor, I would say. These are pretty affordable on eBay too, if you can find them. Great vintage razor if you can use it. And then right here, one of my absolute favorite safety razors out in the market. A lot of people regard this as a good one. It's up there with the, I think personally, it's up there with the Gillette President razor and the, what was the other razor? There's another one too that's similar to this one, but this is the Gillette Aristocrat. This is a 1946 through 1947 model. We have the original casing for it and everything. It's all leather casing. Leather has aged over the years, so it's a lot weaker. You can tell when feeling by the leather. We have a velveting interior. I threw an Astra Blade thing in here. It's supposed to come with Gillette Blues, I think, back in the day. But that's always cool. The casing is closes, opens like normal. It does say Gillette right here in the corner. You're not going to probably be able to see it. That is faded over the years. It's darkened too. There might be a little bit of water damage on it, but nothing major. Do you have a little bit of plating loss on here on the top, but nothing super severe. Still holds its color pretty well and pretty nice over these years. Once again, twist to open. Most people regard this one as a mild razor. Personally, with me when I use it, I find it to be a little bit aggressive. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good one. It means it gives you a close shave, so it's always a good one. So there's that. So yeah, Gillette Aristocrats. Now those vary in price. You can find them cheap. Sometimes you can find them expensive. If you find them in absolutely beautiful condition, then be aware that those are going to be expensive. But I think it's worth it. And the condition it originally came in was absolutely disgusting, but I cleaned it up. And I could, if I wanted to resell it, I could get a lot more money out of it than I wanted to. So, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Once again, this is a vintage Old Spice haul. And I got more videos coming out soon, so be sure to check them out. Later, guys.